How you doing? It's Dan McDonald from regenerateyourlife.org. I got a green juice recipe for you, and I'm not going to wrap before I get started. I'm just going to go here and start juicing, and we'll wrap as we go. But I wanted to tell you real quick what the recipe is. I got bok choy, celery, cucumber, kale, cilantro, dill, burdock, baby, and some lemon. That's going to be my green juice power, okay? And I'll start rapping a little bit about how important it is to make sure that you're getting enough of this kind of nutrition in your day-to-day life so that you can offset some of the overload of the toxicity that's going on in today's world. One of the things that you can do is start thinking organic. I know that it is a little bit more expensive, but it's so much more worth it. And here's one of the reasons why that might be. Organic foods in general do have much more nutrient density, and that's the key when it comes to food. In my own opinion, the way I look at it is like I'm trying to get the most nutrient dense, freshest, vital foods that I can get. And that's why I choose raw foods, and that's why I choose organic, and that's why I choose wild foods when I can, which is kind of a rarity in today's day and age. I understand that. But the nutrient density is what allows your body to feel satisfied. So what we've got here is the food manufacturer industries, creating foods consciously and purposefully that are nutrient deficient, so that you have to eat more and more and more of them. Doesn't that make sense? Being that corporations, are here for the bottom line. I'll tell you, bok choy is really good, which was the first one I put in. It's got all those cruciferous type vegetables have anti-cancer properties. So just remember that. Broccoli's good, bok choy, kale, all the members of that particular family, as well as Brussels sprouts as well, have anti-cancer properties. So you want to remember to just have these types of vegetables as much as you can. I'm more of a fan of fruit when it comes to the highest levels of consciousness and energy and regeneration of the human organism. But today's day and age, our fruit is not as nutrient dense as it used to be. And it's picked early a lot of times, so the minerals aren't allowed to ripen. The sugars generally don't ripen up as much as they could. And so what I'm recommending in this day and age, just to keep it simple, is a real nice balance of the fruits and vegetables. The herbs and the vegetables tend to accumulate more of the minerals. Well, you get a full spectrum of minerals when you include and incorporate a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. There's benefits to both. Fruits are more cleansing, of course, lighter, and they're really good for the brain, but these vegetables, being that they are so nutrient dense, are extremely beneficial in today's day and age. One of the things that I focus on more than anything else, aside from the chlorophyll and the antioxidants, is the minerals in your food. That's what's really going to shut the appetite off. A lot of times, if you're eating a lot of cooked food, it's very difficult to get full and satisfied. Number one, the water is cooked out, which is one of the satisfying mechanisms. And number two, the enzymes are destroyed, so the minerals aren't delivered properly through the GI tract into the blood and delivered to the endocrine glands where they can produce their functions, so that you can have the hormones balanced. A lot of things going on in the world today that are unbalancing our hormones. One of those is plastics, tofu, and the fluoride in the water inhibiting the function of the pituitary and pineal. So I understand that it seems a little bit fanatical. I get it, in the way that I live a lot of times. And I appreciate that people feel that way. But that being said, I'm also very heavy on the research, and I'm interested in preserving and regenerating my life as much as possible. It's not like, this is what I've been realizing and I wanted to share with you. That was kale and celery. Now I've got dill, which is another major cleanser here. But what I've been wanting to share is that when we go to heal ourselves, when I talk about healing, I'm not talking about like, let's fix something that's broken. I'm talking about, hey, here I am, living my life, and no matter where I'm at, let's say you have cancer. the way to look at it is like, hey, here I am, I'm alive and I have cancer. You can look at it as something that's actually get you to look at what you might not have been looking at before. And so you can address some of those things. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes these things in our lives come along and they can actually be a blessing. So to sum it up, it's like we're not trying to fix something that's broken. We want to heal ourselves. Like we had a bad childhood, and we were abused in many different ways, or neglected, or we didn't get the love that we needed, and now we live a lot of unconscious fear. Well, what we do sometimes, what I've done is, cover over that fear with all these macho man crap. And you know what? That actually kept me from being able to reach out and get the love that I need. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is that when we go to heal ourselves, we don't really want to try to look at it like something's broken, it needs to be fixed. We want to look at it like, here I am living this awesome human experience, getting all these incredible experiences, and now I can do better. I can make my good life better. No matter where you're at, you should look at it as like, I have a good life, because you have the life, the one gift that is life. Like you have that right now. If you're watching this video, that means you're alive. That means you've been given the greatest single gift this universe has to offer. And when you're alive as a human being, that's a major blessing, and we should all be very, very thankful in this moment right now, no matter where we're at, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how much anxiety you're going through. We want to start addressing those things, and that's why I do the raw foods. That's why I do the fasting. That's why I do the meditation. I'm digging deeper in my own personal experience, and I'm taking the courage to look at my own shadow, to look at the areas of my life that can be improved by becoming aware of many of the things that I might have buried, that I'm afraid to look at, that I don't want to know are there. So what you can do, and you'll notice this in the world, is that people will unconsciously project those parts of themselves that they haven't owned, because we're all capable of that darkness, and it's possible within all of us. Each one of us has been hurt. Each one of us has a shadow side that we might be embarrassed to admit. But what we do want is love, and what we do want is intimacy. And if we can become aware that we were hurt and we are scared sometimes, then we can begin the process of really being able to ask the people around us in our lives to give us what we want and what we need. If we're unaware and we're acting like a macho jerk, or we're covering over those things with a life of busyness, or drugs, or food, or entertainment, that sometimes can keep us from really being aware of what's going on. The typical example might be the husband and the wife who, they love each other, but it's gotten really boring. They haven't made love in like 3 months. He barely talks to her. They're not connecting. You know what I'm saying? And it's all because some of these issues that I'm talking about here, addressing the dark shadow side, being vulnerable enough to ask for what you really want in this life, it can come up. And so I hope some of that made some sense to you while I made this green juice here. I guess it's really about getting real. It was like I was going to go and I was going to, what I was going to do, I'm going to go soak in the hot spring right now with this green juice. And I was like, oh, I'll just wait and I'll make my hair all pretty and I'll put my nice shirt on, because that's kind of a comfort zone I've gotten into. Then I was like, nah, man, just with the hair, I just came back from hiking in the woods, made a couple videos out there, and I've got another video to make for the new reboot program. It'll be my first digital product, so I was gonna pretty myself up and then make this juice. But then I was like, screw it, man, just do it. You know what I'm saying? So showing up, being yourself, like really getting comfortable with who you are. That's something that I've been working on for quite a while, which has really made it challenging for me to be the super epic rock star YouTuber that I know that I am. You know what I'm saying? Making videos and stuff like that. So in the beginning it was easy because I had those shields. And then after a while I started to see, wow, you really have a lot of, you're afraid to really be yourself. you know, on camera and be open and vulnerable to people, and make sure you got all that armor over your heart, you know what I mean? And then now it's just I'm coming to the end of that phase, and I'm just really embracing who I am. And so what I can do with that is be an example of that for people, you know what I mean? That's the only way I know how to live and teach, is by what I allow myself to become, what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing, and then sharing that with the world. I guess that's my unique style, which I'm really happy to embrace at this point. So I made some green juice, which is really, really good. It's got the chlorophyll, it's got the minerals, the living water, vitamins, antioxidants to neutralize a lot of the heavy metals and stuff like that. The green juices are also really, really good for the heart. And in that sense, because you got the chlorophyll, and then you have higher oxygen utilization, which is absolutely essential for health. In fact, oxygen is health. The more oxygen you can get into your lungs, into your heart, into your blood, into your cells, the higher functioning those cells are going to be. So I'm going to take this green juice, go outside, soak in the hot spring. It's really good to do that, to have a green juice and then like sweat in the sauna or go in the hot tub, and then be able to, what you do is you neutralize a lot of the acid waste, and then you'll sweat that out of the skin. So it's a really good thing to do, to drink a green juice and then have a nice sweat. This is kind of an after workout snack. And I could say a lot more about green juices, but I wanted to keep it short today and brief, just while I made the juice. What I'm going to do next is take this. What do you do with the juice pulp, Dan? Well, you'll have to watch the next video, because I'm going to answer that in just 1 second. For me, for you, I don't know. You can click on the next video here that I post, and I will show you what to do with the pulp. Okay, so thank you very much. I appreciate you. And you can share this video with your family and friends if you think it's going to benefit them in some way. But anyways, just like I've always said, you know, fruits, vegetables, and love, all those are very important. Love being really the most important. But in today's day and age, they're starting to see with the research that, and it's all coming back. It's so funny to see. I do many hours of research every day. Finally, it's starting to come around that whole unprocessed foods are the best for human beings, because they're trying to suppress that knowledge so that you do eat their junk food, so that you do end up in the hospital, so that you do get sick, overweight, and be addicted to their foods. Then you get onto the pharmaceuticals, and it's a merry-go-round. It's the revolving door of the sickness industry, the death industry. And what we're doing here with videos like this is we're bringing you to life in many different ways, with the food, our thoughts, opening our hearts up, being real, regenerating our brains. We'll be getting into that in the years ahead here for sure, because that's my #1 area of excitement and research, is really how do we regenerate the brain. I've got some amazing ideas, and I will let you know about those. So if you want to stay in the loop, then you subscribe to these videos, and I love you very much. Thank you. Have an awesome day. Peace.